Hello, I am Tom Gozy, creator of the course titled Build Better Athletes. Who can benefit from this course? Who can benefit from building better athletes? Well, club coaches of nearly any sport, youth coaches, middle school and high school sports coaches. It's not just about coaching the sport. Make the athletes better athletes and they'll be better at anything you ask them to do. How about performance coaches who are just starting out in their careers? Even parents in certain situations would benefit from the course. Essentially, any coach of any kind that wants to help their athletes become more athletic. Let's talk about coaching for a second. The impact and the influence coaches have is tremendous. The competition, bond with the athletes, and celebrating the athletes' accomplishments is unique and cannot be replaced in other occupations. So let me ask you a question. How do you want your athletes to remember you as a coach? The best feeling in the world is for them to think of you as a trusted mentor, a friend of sorts, a counselor, all of the hats a coach wears, right? But above all else, you should want them to remember you as being really good at making them better. The athletes are investing their time, their opportunity costs, and maybe money into you, the coach. What will their return on investment be? Did they choose wisely? Thus far, you have read emails from me, looked over frequently asked questions, you've seen me in videos. I want you to know that nothing I have shared with you might work. It will work, because Build Better Athletes is built upon both the science and the art of coaching. The thousands of athletes I have coached have tested all of this out. For example, let's talk about Katie, whose testing score as a freshman was -4. Yet, after diving into our comprehensive program, as a senior, she was not only a +8, which was an improvement of 12 points, the most ever. She was also a school record holder in the pole vault for us, won a state medal in the pole vault, and also earned a track and field scholarship in the pole vault. Let's look at some 4-year improvements like Katie's. There was a girl named Erin who as a freshman scored -8. Worked hard, and by her senior year, she got into the positive digits, an improvement of 9 points. Nikki was -7 as a freshman, improving all the way up to +2 as a senior. Claire, -6 as a freshman, up to +3 as a senior. All 3 of those ladies improved by 9 points. Or let's look at some improvements from just one season to the very next one, a 1-year span. I coached an athlete named Marina who scored a +3 as a freshman. That's very good. That's very impressive. The next year as a sophomore, she scored a +11. By the way, the very next year, her junior year, she was a state champion. Or how about Olivia, who improved 7 points? And there's Izzy, who improved by 6 points just in 1 year. Or the 6 athletes that became state champions, the 20+ school record breakers, the stretch of 8 team district championships in a row, or 14 team district championships in 17 seasons. The information in this course works. We took a girl with an 8-foot+ broad jump. That is impressive. That girl can jump. And we removed her from the jumping events. Now, I know you're thinking, what? Are you nuts? Why would you do that? We converted her to a middle distance runner and she became a state champion. Well, why did we think that would work? Well, the testing. Because she had a teammate who was already one of the top 800-meter runners in the state, and their testing scores were nearly identical. The one advantage the veteran distance runner had was she was a little bit faster in foot speed. But everything else was practically the same, and we knew that jumper was extraordinarily tough, like Marine, Navy, SEAL type of tough, which you have to have in the middle distance world. So we took a girl with all the ingredients to be a great jumper, and we put her into events where she would be far more athletic than most of the girls she was competing against, because we knew she had the grit and moxie to do the hard work and run tough when it hurt. But above all else, we had the test results from the other girl, the more accomplished girl, her teammate, to directly compare against. And we could see that athletically, both in build and in every way, they were virtually identical. That's why the testing works. Let's talk all about Build Better Athletes. When you buy this course, you will remove trial and error from your learning curve. You're going to get the benefit of me going through my trial and error and removing all of the errors and making your path a little bit shorter, straighter, and a lot less frustrating. Using my course, Build Better Athletes, will also alleviate a lot of self-doubt because everything you're implementing has been proven successful. It comes from the art and the science of coaching. This isn't some crazy witch's potion. It's not some man's opinion. This is from the best coaches in the country as I traveled around getting certified in nearly everything and putting it into practice. If you're a young and experienced coach and you're going to make your mistakes and you've got parents maybe twice your age looking at you with a raised eyebrow thinking, what does this coach really know? And you can point out all of the different biomotor abilities and you can talk about the ways you have to make their son or daughter a better athlete to make them a better soccer player or whatever. And you're only going to impress them with what you know. By using Build Better Athletes, you will have access to the athletic testing and scoring systems that we used. And they're not foolproof, meaning once you learn the system, you can create your own. You can test different events. You can score it differently. If I was doing my scoring system over, starting all over again, I wouldn't have 12 as a perfect score. I would have 15. But I kept it at 12 so that my results, my statistics were, consistent and comparable going back decades. You also will learn about the biomechanics of movement and the biomotor abilities that must be developed. Why are you here? Why are you watching the video? Because you are like me and you want to be good at what you do. Your name is on that team. Your name is on that athlete. Their performance is in part a reflection of you and your coaching ability. You want to do right by them. You want to learn. You want to be a great coach. Maybe you want to even be seen as a great coach. I don't personally endorse external factors as being a focus because you can't control that. We get into that in Module 1. What is a great coach? But hey, who doesn't want to be recognized as good at what they do? If you are a performance coach, your entire business reputation, your professional brand depends upon getting results from your athletes. If you're a sports coach, winning isn't everything, but man, it is a lot more fun than losing, and you need good athletes to win. But nearly every roster is not stocked with as many good athletes as a coach would like. So you have to get about building them. The best part of this course, the best part of Build Better Athletes, of implementing this into what you're doing, is it's easily replicable. Literally, you take the course and you plug these things into your routines, and it will make every athlete better. It will put a shine on your program because you will be doing more with your athletes and putting more effort into your team than the coaches around you. It'll serve as a credibility piece for you as a coach with both parents and administrators because you're showing a greater concern for their athlete, developing them as an all-around athlete that every other coach that works with that athlete will benefit from. You alone probably are doing that. They will notice. And ultimately, using these modules and the knowledge, tricks, verbal cues, the experience, all of that, makes your athletes and teams better. So the obvious question is, do you want to take the fast way to improve success by following the immediate experience gained from the 12 modules inside Build Better Athletes? Or you can blaze your own slow, arduous, gratifying, but mistake-filled path just like I did. The slow method or the fast method, which do you prefer? Think about this. As a coach, you are someone who tells an athlete what they don't want to hear, and you tell them what they don't want to see, so the athlete can be who they've always known they can be. That is a paraphrase from the great Dallas Cowboys football coach Tom Landry. What coaches do isn't maybe as important as brain surgery, but to that kid it is. To their family it is. Don't overlook the fact that the athletes are making choices with their time. Of all the things they can do, activities, sports, all of that, they're choosing you and your sport. And they can't undo that. If they're only with you a season and they go to do something else, they still can't undo that choice. So it's a coach's obligation to have the answers to the questions, to make that choice of the athlete and their family the best one they could make. And if you run across athletes and families who don't appreciate what you do, who may be a little wacky, well, you know what? That's life today. It's not a reflection of you and what you know. It's all about them. If you're using methods proven to be true, and you're coaching their son or daughter in the skills necessary for their sport, and at the same time going above and beyond and making them more athletic, something they could be paying a performance coach outside of your team to do, trust me, most of them, the vast majority of them will appreciate it. And if they are paying you as a performance coach and you are giving them the results, they're going to keep paying you. And they should. What is Build Better Athletes? Build Better Athletes is my step-by-step course that highlights what needs to be trained and what training modalities to use, along with video analysis and guidance regarding how to implement the program. Nothing is left out. It also allows you to log in 24/7. Everything offered to you is digital and downloadable. Another benefit, you get to join a community of other customers, of other students of Build Better Athletes who will be moving along in the course with you for support, help, and networking. Module 1 talks about what is a great coach. It's more than wins and losses. Every situation and roster is different. Famous coaches who have won in City A, for some reason, didn't in City B. Why are certain coaches always in demand even though they have losing records? Module 1 gives you case studies of all of these points, talks about how to establish your own criteria through athletic testing to see tangible proof of success training athletes. Module 2 talks about considerations for a coach, creating programs to maximize their talents and weather the storms of bad luck, how to coach your sport and coach the athlete, not one or the other, how to modify lifts and training to fit an athlete's yearly calendar, factoring in the mental side of sports, placing athletes into events or positions that they are equipped mentally to handle and thrive in. It talks about spotting an injury that hasn't happened yet and the athlete is in no pain. In fact, the athlete doesn't even know they're at risk. But as a coach, you need to be. You have to know. Module 2 gives you case studies of all of those things. Module 3 talks about the 5 key aspects to athleticism that scientifically must all be addressed to optimize an athlete's talents, and also talks about strategies for doing so and pitfalls to avoid. Module 4 talks about developing speed. It includes video analysis of sprinting form. It teaches the biomechanics of speed, key body positions, verbal cues the coach can use with the athletes. It provides a great package of drills to develop not only better speed, but better sprinting form. It also includes my favorite drill for developing sprinting form and making faster athletes. Also, it shows you how you can make some simple equipment needed for that specific drill. And yes, it is so simple, a chimp could do it. I am proof of that. Module 5, we dive into coordination and agility, proprietary drills for indoors or outside training, factors to consider when implementing these drills, how to prevent mastery of a coordination drill so the athlete gets maximum benefit of the drill. It also includes video analysis of those drills. Module 6, we dive into developing strength, the key lifts for any great strength training program, the body positions, the verbal cues, benefits beyond strength of having additional strength, and video analysis of all of that. Module 7, we talk about flexibility and endurance, outside the box thinking for both of those areas, and the importance of establishing routines. Module 8 is my favorite module. This is the Team Transformer. We talk about the athletic testing and scoring system. How to transform your team by making them train for testing day like it is a competition, which means they're training in the off season. How to establish a scoring matrix, choosing the events to test, the hidden benefits of doing all of that. Tapping into the athlete's inherent competitiveness by creating a scoring system that is going to give them a final score. It's going to be up there for all of their teammates to see, and not many athletes who are really competitive want to see a bad score. And that entire system will inspire a much improved off-season training turnout, effort, and intensity. Module 9, we talk about prehab packages for injury prevention, pre- and post-practice routines for proprioception, ankle mobility, core training, agility, rolling, stretching, and icing. Targeting exercises for the ankles, feet, and shins. Protection for the feet. 1/4 of the bones in the human body are in the 2 feet, but rarely are feet the focus of strengthening programs. Clearly, they should be. Module 10 focuses on team talks. It doesn't matter if it's a sport or your group of athletes you're training if you're a performance coach. It's important to coach the person, not the athlete. We want them to win medals in life, not just in a sport. These are young athletes. The majority of them, as teenagers, are going to listen to you more than their parents for at least a window of their life. As a coach, this is your stage to set the tone for the program. Guide them, demonstrate, give examples, and plot their course. Module 11. Sports psychology is much more important than most coaches realize. You're coaching their body most of the time, but we rarely coach their mind. Module 11 will tell you what they should focus on as athletes. It tells you that the rah-rah speech, the let's get 'em speech, doesn't work on every athlete, and how to reframe an upcoming event to be less intimidating. Module 12 talks about metabolic versus neural training. And if you're starting out in your career, you may have no clue what those are. Module 12 will tell you. What is metabolic and neural training, and what is this thing called CNS fatigue? CNS fatigue? Is that like getting tired of all of the crime shows that are dealing with like forensics? Nope. Central nervous system fatigue, how to avoid it, and how best to organize your training so it's not even a concern. I want you to realize that I've coached for so long against a lot of very successful coaches. I've also been very fortunate, as I see it, to have coached 3 different sports as a head coach at the high school level: track and field, cross country, and wrestling. So that encompasses both genders, wildly different types of training. Cross country runners, it's very linear, it's all endurance based. But you know what we had them doing? We had them doing power cleans. Why? Why power cleans? Why wouldn't you? It makes them better athletes. From cross country, from the endurance aspect of that, I had to make wrestlers explosive. I had to do a combination of speed development, endurance development, and explosive development in track and field. But here's the really wild thing, is when I left college, I was on a fast track to become a head football coach. That was what I wanted, to be a high school head football coach. At age 27, I interviewed for 2 positions in the St. Louis area. I got to the final 2 candidates in both situations before I withdrew because some veteran coaches of mine, some mentors to me, said to me, "Tom, don't take the first job offered to you. Take the first good job offered to you." In other words, it was their mentoring that kept me from taking a position as a head football coach in a school in a district that's really not conducive to winning. They don't really care if they're successful. I listened to my mentors, and now I am the mentor trying to help you. What really was weird was after I passed on those two positions, I realized although football is my favorite sport, and it always will be, and I love nearly every sport, honestly, football is my favorite. But it wasn't so much that I wanted to be a head football coach as it was I wanted to be a head coach. And the next thing you know, I was offered the girls' track and field job, and then the wrestling position. I was an assistant in football for a long time, but next thing you know, I'm not coaching football at all because it wasn't the sport so much as it was the athletes. I don't coach a sport. I coach athletes in that sport. And that's what I want to teach you with this course, Build Better Athletes. Now, Build Better Athletes has a cost of $397. Another way of looking at that is you're going to get 36 seasons as a high school head coach, certifications in multiple areas of performance coaching. I've spoken at clinics too many times to remember, and you're getting all of that combined experience with my mistakes weeded out for approximately the cost of a single coaching clinic you can go to. Think about that for a second. You can sit in your house on your couch with your favorite drink in one hand, petting the dog with the other, and you're learning and you're implementing programs that will make you far, far better at whatever it is you're doing as a coach. The entire course, Build Better Athletes, is already finished. It's ready and waiting for you. It's not released as a slow drip, one module a week. This is a binge-watching society. We like to find a series on Netflix and watch 5 episodes, or maybe 25, in a weekend. We love to binge on things, including food, which I don't recommend. Even in a podcast sense, there's nothing better than finding a podcast you love and realizing there's 200 episodes of it. What do you do on that next road trip? You binge. So Build Better Athletes is already up and ready for you to read, download, study, and implement. To recap, it all starts with you taking action today, and I've got great news coming up. There's 12 modules, many with video analysis, plus the following bonuses if you purchase before the deadline. In addition to the 12 modules already detailed, I will give you a bonus module on targeted drills. Targeted drills, what does that mean, Coach Gozy? These drills are targeted to solve problems, such as quad dominance, when an athlete has overdeveloped quads, which is partly because they're not activating and using their glutes and hamstrings properly. Not only will you know how to solve the problem, you'll have a better idea how to see it and know that it needs to be addressed. The bonus module on targeted drills also will show you drills and verbal cues for teaching athletes to apply greater force into the ground when they're accelerating. And it also shows you how you can help an athlete overcome learned plantar flexion, which is pointing of the toe, which a lot of athletes have been programmed to do in activities and sports like dance, gymnastics, and sometimes even swimming. There is also a bonus module called the Lunge Laboratory. This is the single most amazing exercise that I've ever thought of to put together. It's not an original thought. I want to give major credit to Todd Wright, who was the strength conditioning coach at the University of Texas and is now working with the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. I sat in a session of his and watched a package of exercises he had his basketball players do. I saw the enormous benefits that this exercise system had, so I redesigned it, repackaged it in a way that would be more effective for the kids I was coaching at the high school level. The system is amazingly dense, providing many training effects all at once. The system is so very simple to teach and learn, but still challenging to execute, which is exactly what it should be for athletes. The Lunge Laboratory provides proprioceptive work, ankle mobility, hip mobility, coordination, and core training all at the same time. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of athletic training benefits. There is a beginner's version that's done without an external load, and the advanced version with a Viper log, small kettlebell, or medicine ball providing some added weight. The third bonus module is about training games. And this module describes my 4 favorite different types of training games, which the athletes always enjoyed, but they also got some training benefit from. The training games bonus module includes video of 2 of those and descriptions of 2 more. A final bonus, and this is huge, is a Facebook community for all Build Better Athletes customers for help, support, and networking. This community will be moderated and led by Ryan Banta, who is the author of the huge comprehensive book on speed development called The Sprinter's Compendium. Ryan's a highly successful coach in St. Louis, Missouri, and he lives the BBA mantra of don't coach the sport, coach the athlete in the sport. Make the athlete better as an athlete, and they'll be better at everything else you want them to do. Coach Banta has been published in numerous blogs and has been a guest on many podcasts as well. He has built his program to the top tier of the state and loves to talk training and coaching. Coach Banta has also spoken at many different types of coaching clinics all over the United States. The Facebook community will also have other coaches involved, and I'm always going to be checking in to lend a hand if needed. But wait, it gets even better. 36 years of coaching experience melted down into 12 modules that also provide video analysis, tips, tricks, verbal cues, everything I know I'm giving you, leaving nothing out. And if you buy by the deadline, you also get the bonus modules as well. But it still gets better, because Build Better Athletes comes with a 30-day, no questions asked full guarantee. Now, I know how important that is because, again, money is valuable. I have also bought online courses in the past myself, and I love the security of the 30-day guarantee. There is no risk. Why? Because BBA is so packed with experience, knowledge, and training nuggets, we are certain you will find it well worth the investment in yourself. And let's be honest, is there anything better to invest in than yourself? Well, Warren Buffett has made a few bucks in his day, and that's one of his most famous quotes. Invest in yourself. Most importantly of all, start building your athletes today. That next major accomplishment for your athletes and for your team will certainly arrive a little bit sooner once you've helped every athlete become a better athlete.